Hello everyone, welcome to this new survival series called Create Everything. So let's get into it. So as any new world, I just chop down a couple pieces of wood, then I turn them into planks and make myself a crafting table. After placing down the crafting table, I craft myself a wooden pickaxe and gathered some cobblestone. I came back up and craft myself some basic stone tools like pickaxe, axe, and a sword. And I also make a stone shovel just to get around things easier. I also get myself a furnace. After that, I went and chopped down some trees to get more wood supply. I then found some cows, so I killed them to get some food and leather. After that, I went into a cave and mined some coal. After that, I mined some gravel to get some flint. I also find some iron ore in the cave, so I mined them. After a bit of traveling, I found some sheep and other animals such as pig, chicken, so I killed them for more food and resources. Seeing as it is night time, I place down my crafting table and furnace. I use the free wool to craft myself a sleeping bag, and I smelted down my iron and I went to bed. After I woke up, I checked my furnace and grabbed some of the iron inside to craft a shield just to protect myself better with. While I wait for the iron to smelt, I gathered some seeds by breaking some grass. And I smelted down some food. Then I used the 4 iron to craft myself a iron pickaxe. After the smelting is done, I gathered my stuff and continued traveling. After a while, I found a place nearby the sea with a very flat landscape, which will be good for building. I think this is a good place to start, so I put down my crafting table and a furnace. After that, I cleared the surrounding a little bit. As I was clearing the place, I spotted a few sugarcane nearby the seashore, so I collected them and replanted them to get more. I then used the sapling I got to replant to keep up the wood supply. After I got back, I turned all the wood into wood planks and crafted 2 chests to make a double chest to store all my items I gathered so far. I put all the items that I don't think I'm gonna use for now in the chest. After that, I went mining again and I found some iron just out in the open, so I mined them. I then found myself a creeper, so I used a shield to block it, and I continued to mine some more iron. After that, I saw a skeleton, so I used my shield to block his arrows and killed him, and also killed a creeper just over the lava. And then found myself some lapis, and I continued mining for a couple while I gathered some andesite, more iron and gold, and some copper and resources like zinc. Just then I saw a diamond ore at the very corner of my screen, and it was actually a 2 vein, so I mined them and got 2 diamonds. However, I was so careless that I did not see a hole and dropped into a lava pit. I tried to escape, but I still burned to death. Fortunately, with this mod, it located my death place, and it also put all my item in a corp so that they don't despawn. I found a village nearby, so I slept through the night and gathered some food to make myself able to go back. And then I make a long journey all the way down and fight a couple of mobs with my bare hands. Fortunately, I was able to get all my items back, and so I managed my inventory and continued mining for a while. After a while, I reckon I've mined enough resources, so I towered out of the cave. I did break my iron pickaxe, so I was back to using stone pickaxe. I got home safely, and I put down my new place bed and smelted my iron. I then put all the items away in the chest, and I used my free newfound diamond to craft a diamond pickaxe. As the iron was almost finished smelting, I used 3 iron to craft myself a bucket and craft a stone hoe to make a tiny small starter farm. I start by making an infinite water source just beside my starter area. Here is a quick time lapse of me making the farm. After a while, I placed down my last seeds and completed the farm. After the basics are done, I think we should start to explore the create mod. So I used my andesite and iron to craft some andesite alloy. Apparently I actually needed log, not planks, so I break the trees which I've replanted earlier to get more logs. if you like this mod pack, you can actually download and play it yourself with the link in the description. I do highly recommend you check it out. It's a very fun mod and you can explore quite a lot about the Create mod. After I finished log chopping, I went to see how I make the andesite casing, and they actually changed the recipe that you actually apply the andesite alloy with your hand onto any kind of stripped log. So I stripped 4 of my log and make 4 andesite casing. Seeing in the advancement tab, the next thing I should do is actually make a water wheel. In order to make a water wheel, I actually need a large cogwheel, and in this update they actually changed the recipe so that you actually use 2 planks and 1 shaft to make a large cogwheel, or you can combine a small cogwheel with a piece of oak plank, and the small cogwheel is just a shaft and 1 piece of plank. After understanding about the crafting, I started crafting by making some shaft with 2 pieces of andesite alloy, and I crafted myself 1 large cogwheel, and then I slept through the night. When I wake up, I continue crafting by making some oak slab, which is needed for the water wheel recipe. I assembled the water wheel quite quickly and got my first rotational power source. I then remembered that I actually want to gear up the water wheel to make the rotational powers quicker, so I crafted myself some more small and large cogwheels. I do that by first placing a large cogwheel with a small cogwheel next to it, and I can do this a couple of times to make it faster. As I looked in the chest, I was actually kind of low in the iron supply, so I put away most of my stuff and went iron mining again. When I got back, I take the iron I've smelted and make a iron block, which is necessary for the mechanical press in the Create mod. I quickly grabbed the resources for that and got myself my first mechanical press. I tried to put the mechanical press at maximum speed, but it was too much stress for 1 water wheel, so I break 1 set of cogwheels and put it down, and it worked that time. In the advancement tab, they actually want us to proceed with the millstone, but actually it's very important to get a mechanical mixer, as it's half the price to make andesite alloy like that, which can actually save you a lot of resources. So the mechanical mixer need a whisk which contains 5 iron sheets. So I put 5 iron and get them pressed, and I craft myself a whisk and put it together with a small cogwheel and a andesite casing to make a mechanical mixer. As the one single water wheel was actually being overstressed by another set of cogs wheels, which is used to gearing up, I reckon it needs more power, so I crafted myself 3 more water wheels and placed them all together to create more power. I also remembered that I can actually craft a wrench and the engineer's goggle to make things easier. So I got 4 of the 5 gold I got earlier and pressed them to get 4 golden sheets, which 3 is used for the wrench and 1 is for the engineer's goggles. I craft the wrench very quickly, but then for the engineer's goggle, it actually requires glass, which I don't have. So I quickly went down into the pond nearby and grabbed myself 2 pieces of sand and smelted that with some wood. And I got an easy advancement for that. I then used a waystone which I actually found earlier and put it right in the open and called it my base. This is used to teleport to other waystone easily. After that, I actually broke the sugarcane I planted earlier and moved them to a more easier access location. And now I got actually quite a lot. And I also carved the terrain nearby, so that I can walk more easily to the sugarcane. I then jumped into the ocean and gathered some kelp, as one of the recipe, the mechanical belt, actually requires dry kelp. When I got back, I smelted a stack of kelp and went to bed. The next day, I checked the advancement tab once again, and I was actually supposed to make a windmill. However, it requires stone types, which is not cobblestone, and I don't want to use my andesite, so I went down into a nearby hole and gathered myself some diorite for that. When I got back, I crafted the windmill bearing, which is the base for the windmill. I grabbed the shaft and the oak slab on the chest beside and crafted myself the windmill bearing. This update is actually quite new to me, and they actually also changed the recipe for the sails for the windmill, and it only requires 1 wool, 2 stick, and 1 andesite alloy for 2 windmill sails now. But I skipped that for now and crafted myself a basin for the mechanical mixer and tried to assemble all the things together. However, 4 water wheel is still not enough for the mechanical press to be added, so I just leave the mechanical press out. As you can see here, the recipe for andesite alloy is actually half the price by using the mixer, so it's actually more efficient. But when I look in my chest, I actually only have 2 andesite, so I went out into the cave I searched earlier to mine some more andesite. When I got back, I grabbed myself a stack of iron nuggets and the stack of andesite I mined and put them in the mixer, and I got the achievement, mix it up. Remember earlier when I needed the wool for the sails? Well, I actually don't have that many wool, so I crafted myself a pair of shears and ran around shearing sheep for the rest of the day. After gathering wool for like 10 minutes, I finally got 52 sails for my windmill, which is less than I want, but it does the job. I then crafted more basic create materials like shafts, large cogwheels and small cogwheels, and also andesite casing, which I forgot I need to strip the wood. After I got all my andesite casing, I crafted myself some gearbox and started assembling the windmill. After I finish assembling the windmill, it is working perfectly. I used my large and small cogwheels once again to gear up the rotational power 4 times actually, and it was actually pretty fast. I then break the old system. I then reassemble it in the windmill, which has a faster rotational speed and more stress capacity. I extended the power 1 block higher with another cogwheel and place it against a gearbox, which then start turning the mixer with a basin underneath, and I added the millstone next to the mixer, and this time I can actually add the mechanical press without it overstressed, because the windmill actually has a much higher stress capacity, and I added a depot underneath it. And that's all we have time for today. We got awful lot done. We got the basic starter create mod done, and we got some basic Minecraft survival things done. If you do enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me, and I'll make a second episode. Cheers!